Over the weekend, we saw yet another hyped UFC prospect fall short, as Rene de Ridder knocked out Bo Nickal with a brutal knee to the body in the second round, and everywhere you look online, people couldn't be happier. As it turns out, fans found Nickal to be really annoying, and rejoiced to see the guy that claimed to be able to handle the top 5 with ease before he even made his debut, thrashing in agony against the cage as he was forced to accept the reality of where he really stands within the middleweight division the hard way.
Bro, I've been competing since I was 5. Like, I had 120 plus NCAA wrestling matches. I won a U23 world championship. Like, I'm coming with 10 times the experience that you have. So, you know, when people say like, oh, you're not ready, stay in your lane, like, y'all don't know what the hell you're talking about. So you'll see what happens when we get in the cage.
Being a very decorated wrestler, Bo Nickal entered the UFC with a big chip on his shoulder, taking personal offense to Russian and Russia-adjacent grapplers, carving out a reputation of being able to handle anyone once the fight hit the ground, claiming that he could make guys like Khabib Nurmagomedov and Islam Makhachev look silly on the mat as he was several levels above them. But most of his venom seemed to be directed at another prospect in Khamzat Chimaev, who by that point had already established himself as a force in the middleweight division, with many fans clamoring for him to get a shot at the title. And whether it was jealousy or what he genuinely believed, Bo was wildly dismissive of him as an opponent.
You versus him right now, I really don't know. Like I really like, and it's a crazy thought considering your experience in the sport right now compared to his, and you know the fights that he's had in the UFC compared to zero for you. But you versus him right now, are you 100% confident you win that fight?
For sure. I wouldn't ask for it. I wouldn't have said it in an interview if I didn't believe it. But I'm going to keep winning. I hope he keeps winning. It'll get bigger and bigger, and then we'll do it up, and I'm going to smash him.
Being cocky as a fighter can make you or break you in the eyes of the fans. You get a lot of people tuning into your match to see if you're really as good as you claim, and you can become the next big thing or universally hated pretty much overnight, depending on how you look inside of the octagon. If you go out and look like you're in the Matrix, then all the previous trash talk is instantly validated and your hype begins to grow exponentially. But if you look anything less than amazing, then you begin to seem delusional and annoying, with people tuning in just to watch you lose. Something that fellow Dana White privilege recipient Michael Chandler did his best to warn Nickal about.
I think it's a little bit unbecoming to come into the UFC off the Contender Series and start talking about Khamzat Chimaev and fighting John Jones or whoever he's freaking fighting. You know, at some point, you got to just play the game as well. You got to grow, but grow at the right rate. People see what Conor did, getting on the microphone. People see what these other people have done. I think Bo's getting a little bit too talky for the average fan's liking. If it were me and I were his manager, I'd say, hey, let's keep our nose to the grindstone. Let's knock them down when they put them in front of us. Let's talk about realistic matchups, but don't talk about Khamzat Chimaev, your first fight in the UFC, basically.
Unsurprisingly, Bo did not live up to the hype that he largely created for himself, and that led to a lot of fans writing him off as somebody that talked a lot bigger than he actually performed. A feeling that was especially evident during his match with Paul Craig, as the arena began to chant overrated over and over, while Nickal and Craig put on a display of sloppy, low-level kickboxing. And normally this wouldn't be that big of a deal for a still developing fighter, but Nickal came into the company claiming that he was ready to beat everyone. So the fans felt fully justified in attacking the glaring holes in his game, while Nickal seemed to give himself a lot of grace for someone that had no problem calling out very established fighters right out of the gate.
I felt like I was just winning the fight from the beginning on the feet, so there was no need to take it to the ground and put him in his best position. So, you know, for me that says a couple things. That is a testament to my discipline, the game plan with the coaches, and also just, you know, having a fight IQ that's really high.
He seemed to simultaneously believe that he was already the best and deserved the courtesy of having a subpar performance dismissed as growing pains as he was still figuring the sport out, while also dismissing the unhappy audience.
I feel really proud of myself, mostly just for staying disciplined the whole time. It would have been easy to, you know, hear the crowd and just kind of feel like I have to fight a certain way because of that, but I don't. And, you know, for them, this is entertainment and it's a show. For me, this is real life, and this is sport, and this is what I love to do, and I'm trying to be the best in the world, right? Like, I'm not trying to come out here to entertain people.
Again, this would have been a fair thing to say if Bo had previously painted himself as somebody that was just getting into the swing of things and developing on the fly so that everyone could have adjusted their expectations accordingly. But not only was he routinely calling out fighters that looked much more impressive than he did, he was critiquing their performances against each other too.
It was weird because Dricus won, you know,
finish in kind of a exciting fashion, but was not impressed at all.
Yeah.
I was just like, what just happened?
But the very justified criticism flying his way from the fans was shrugged off as the ramblings of the uneducated masses.
It's just so funny. You go into a world of MMA where there's no other sport where people know less and think they know more. 99% of fans have never been in a fight, have never trained. They don't do jiu-jitsu, they don't do boxing, they don't do wrestling. They watch a few fights every weekend or a few fights once in a while, and they think they know everything about fighting. It's crazy to me, dude. Like, it's really, really weird.
Even Dana White himself, who normally plays along when his favorites talk trash, getting giddy about how awesome they are and how much they understand the game, was adamant about Bo pumping his brakes when he saw how limited his skills in MMA actually were compared to the people that he was actively calling out.
You know, we've had these discussions with Bo. You know, Bo needs work. Bo's an up-and-coming guy. I know he has big aspirations and wants to move faster than he should, but tonight showed that he's got work to do. When you're in a position like Bo is, there's a lot of expectations, you know?
And he was constantly falling short of them while not acknowledging that fact and still acting like he deserved to be in the mix with ranked opponents. A recipe for everyone wanting to see you eat your words and fall flat on your face. So when he got that exact treatment from Rene de Ritter, who he was a heavy favorite against, the MMA world let him have it.
He's ready to quit. Look at him. He's ready to quit. He's ready to quit. Pepper him up. Oh, yes. 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 Take that, Penn State boy. Oh, Sandusky can't save you now, Bo. All that wrestling. All that talking about Chimaev. Oh, I would beat Chimaev. You got busted up and finished by De Ritter on the feet, and he took your ass down.
And it was especially poetic since going into the fight, Bo once again got way too high on his own supply and claimed that he was definitely the superior striker.
I think that I'm a natural striker, so
yeah, I mean, the overhand's definitely coming along.
the overhand's there. That's without a doubt. There's no doubt about that.
Now that he's been knocked down to reality and is forced to work his way back up, we'll see what Bo's truly made of. He could surprise everyone, humble himself, and go on the greatest redemption arc in UFC history, or this could break him mentally and force him even further into delusion, making him even more annoying in the eyes of the fans, just like what happened with Ronda Rousey. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Like the video if you liked it, and if you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell next to it. And if you want to support the channel further, become a member by hitting join if you're on Android or desktop, or the link in the description if you're on iOS.
And it was so hard because I'd never been faster, never been stronger, never had a better grasp of the game. I'd never been so much better than everybody else. Then I was like vilified as like, oh, she was all hype and she was just lucky, and she, you know, and people making all these judgments about me in a fight where I was literally, my first loss, I was not like, my mouth guard was bad. I literally came into that fight concussed from slipping down some stairs already after all these years of, concussions. And then I had absolutely terrible weight cut, which, you know, that means you have less fluid in your brain to protect it. And just from that one fight, everybody felt like, oh, she's a fraud. And I know that, like, I'm the greatest fighter that has ever lived.